Welcome back, scholars. How are you doing today? This is Mr. Aleman, and today I will be helping you with your science lesson. We're going over Unit 5, Living and Non-Living Things. So to start off with, we're going to read a book, and the title of this book is Alexander and the Wind-Up Mouse. Make sure you're giving 5. What does that mean? It means that you have your feet on the ground, your hands are still, your ears are listening, your lips are zipped, and your eyes are watching. Here we go, guys.
Alexander is a real mouse, but everyone loves Willie, the wind-up mouse. Can Alexander become a wind-up mouse too? Alexander and the Wind-Up Mouse, written and illustrated by Leo Leone. Help, help! A mouse! There was a scream, then a crash. Cups, saucers, and spoons were flying in all directions. Alexander ran for his hole as fast as his little legs would carry him. All Alexander wanted was a few crumbs, and yet every time they saw him, they would scream for help or chase him with a broom. One day, when there was no one in the house, Alexander heard a squeak in Annie's room. He sneaked in, and what did he see? Another mouse, but not an ordinary mouse like himself. Instead of legs, it had 2 little wheels, and on its back there was a key.
Who are you?
Asked Alexander.
I am Willie the Wind-Up Mouse, Annie's favorite toy. They wind me to make me run around in circles. They cuddle me. And at night I sleep on a soft white pillow between the doll and a woolly teddy bear. Everyone loves me. They don't care much for me,
Said Alexander sadly, but he was happy to have found a friend.
Let's go to the kitchen and look for crumbs,
He said.
Oh, I can't.
Said Willie.
I can only move when they wind me. But I don't mind. Everybody loves me.
Alexander, too, came to love Willie. He went to visit him whenever he could. He told him of his adventures with brooms, flying saucers, and mousetraps. Willie talked about the penguin, the woolly bear, and mostly about Annie. The 2 friends spent many happy hours together. But when he was alone in the dark of his hideout, Alexander thought of Willie with envy. Ah, he sighed.
Why can't I be a wind-up mouse like Willie and be cuddled and loved?
One day, Willie told a strange story.
I've heard
He whispered mysteriously.
that in the garden, at the end of the pebble path, close to the blackberry bush, there lives a magic lizard who can change one animal into another. Do you mean that he could change me into a wind-up mouse like you?
Said Alexander. That very afternoon, Alexander went into the garden and ran to the end of the path. Lizard, lizard, he whispered. And suddenly there stood before him, full of the colors of flowers and butterflies, a large lizard. Asked Alexander in a quivering voice. When the moon is round, bring me a purple pebble, said the lizard. For days and days, Alexander searched the garden for a purple pebble. In vain. He found yellow pebbles and blue but not one tiny purple pebble. At last, tired and hungry, he returned to the house. In a corner of the pantry he saw a full box of old toys, and there, between blocks and broken dolls, was Willie. Said Alexander, surprised. Willie told him a sad story. It had been Annie's birthday. There had been a party and everyone had brought a gift.
The next day,
Willie sighed.
many of the old toys were dumped in this box. We will all be thrown away.
Alexander was almost in tears.
Poor Willie.
He thought. But then suddenly, something caught his eye. Could it really be? Yes, it was. It was a little purple pebble. All excited, he ran to the box, put the precious pebble tight in his arms. There was a full moon. Out of breath, Alexander stopped near the blackberry bush.
Lizard in the bush.
He called quickly. The leaves rustled, and there stood the lizard. The moon is round, the pebble found, said the lizard. Who or what do you wish to be?
I want to be
Alexander stopped. Then suddenly he said,
Lizard. Did you choose Willie into a mouse like me?
the lizard blinked. There was a blinding light, and then all was quiet. The purple pebble was gone. Alexander ran back to the house as fast as he could. The box was there, but alas, it was empty. Too late, he thought. And with a heavy heart, he went to his hole in the baseboard. Something squeaked. Cautiously, Alexander moved closer to the hole. There was a mouse inside.
Who are you?
Said Alexander, a little frightened.
My name is Willie.
Said the mouse.
Willie!
Cried Alexander.
The lizard dead!
He hugged Willie, and then they ran to the garden path. And there they danced until dawn.
Great, boys and girls. That was a great story. I loved it, Alexander and the Wind-Up Mouse. But this only makes me think about our topic again. Let's go back at it, and it's living and non-living things. Since we're going to be talking about living things, I want you to think about what does a living thing need in order to be alive? Or what is a non-living thing? Okay. Well, living things have basic needs. A basic need is something a living thing needs to survive, like space, nutrients, water, shelter, and energy. Do you guys need any of this? Yes. So we are living things. Also, living things requires energy. It grows and it can produce offspring and dies. For example, other plants. They require the energy from the sun in order to grow. Once they're bigger, they produce offspring, or they produce baby plants. And when they're too old, they die. But what about non-living? What is a non-living thing? A non-living thing is anything that is not living. That's simple. In this case, we have a picture with what appears to be charcoal or coal or just rocks. So it is time for our exit ticket, boys and girls. But before I give you the instruction, I want you to think like a scientist. And I want you to ask yourself, is it living? How can you come down to the appropriate answer? Well, great scientists like you usually ask 4 questions. And the 4 questions are, does it eat? Does it grow? Does it move? And does it reproduce? If you are thinking about any living thing that has these 4 characteristics, you are ready for our exit ticket. I want you to draw a living thing that requires to eat, to grow, to move, and reproduce. And that's it for today, boys and girls. Have fun!